free, she throwing that ass. I'm up first for coming in last. Went to the bank, happy alive. Nigga fuck love, rather by rap. Nigga fuck love, rather by rap.
Welcome to episode Giannis, episode 34. Woodcrest certified. What's
We do that for
boys?
Bucks players, bro. Like,
what do you mean?
going on?
We did it for
You did it
Kobe.
You did it for Middleton. And
Well,
now Giannis?
that was just the title though. Like I don't know if I said it out loud. Or that's the title in like the invite I sent you. I don't think I said it out loud though, like in the and when we're live and in action. But Giannis is like really good at basketball, so I'm gonna say episode Giannis.
Sound like favoritism here from the
What?
moderator.
Me show favoritism to Bucks players? No,
Yeah.
never. Anyway, welcome all. Thank you guys for coming in, checking out the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and let's get right into it. So yesterday, right? Was it yesterday or the day before? It was yesterday. Jokic was announced as the MVP, and for whatever reason, people are kind of freaking the fuck out and like saying that it's a faulty MVP. People just like for whatever reason just don't fuck with Jokic in general. So Chris, our resident Nuggets fan, obviously enjoys the play of Jokic and has had a lot on his mind about the hate that goes towards Jokic. Chris, the invisible man, the floor is yours.
Stupid.
Like I've been told y'all, Jokic gets disrespected for whatever reason. I think it's just because his greatness comes from like his efficiency and just being really skilled versus like a John Morant who's really fucking exciting to watch play.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like even Giannis, like I think Giannis is more exciting to watch play than Jokic to the average fan. So I think that's mostly the part of it. Like I already knew like where this was heading when Kevin Durant was like, my top three are Joel Embiid, Giannis, and John Morant. And then they asked him about Jokic, and he's like, well, he didn't do anything to impress me since last year. It's like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, and then you go to the media, and it's a bunch of guys like Nick Wright and Kendrick Perkins. I don't watch that shit. I only looked it up because David mentioned it. And like, these guys are just basic ass fans that get paid to be basic ass fans. You know what I mean? Like Kendrick has, like, I don't think Kendrick has, I don't respect his opinion. I don't think he's a smart dude. I'm not saying this to like shit on him. I mean this objectively. Like, I think he's a dumb sack of potatoes. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
like just like as serious as I can be, you know?
Yeah.
And then you got a guy like Nick Wright, who I think is trying to fill into that niche. Like I was watching him go on that rant, and I was like, bro, like you're doing too much. I think he's trying to fit into that niche of like super controversial and super hated. You know, like I guess he sees that First Take might be hiring somebody, and he wants that spot or something. I don't know.
He's selling out everybody.
I'm telling you. Yeah, I saw that segment when Nick Wright went crazy on Jokic, but I tend to kind of like Nick Wright because he likes Giannis, so he's like a big Giannis supporter. I'm gonna be honest. No pun intended. Chris, I honestly disagree with you a little bit when you're saying like, so granted, it's not to the extent that Jokic is getting it now, but for a while, that was like the same shit that Giannis had too, where people say he's not exciting. Like what fucking Harden's like all he does is run and dunk and do layups or whatever. And like it took until a lot of people in the media start saying you got to see him in person, because then like on TV sometimes you don't really see the shit that this man does and like the ground that he covers or whatever. But I mean, like I had fucking battles with people on Facebook talking about Giannis isn't skilled. Like he's not good at basketball. He's just fucking 6'11" and whatever. So like, bro, I feel you because like Giannis has gotten the disrespect as well. I just feel like it may be part of the fucking road, the roadmap.
The journey.
Yeah,
I'll agree to a certain point, but like Harden obviously was saying that because he also wanted to win MVP. And like as far as like the fans go, like I see what like basic ass fans are gonna think like basic ass fans, but when it came to the media, like there were some people who were like James Harden deserves it more than Giannis. But then there was a lot of people that say Giannis should have won it. Like when it comes this year, like I don't know if you could pull up 5 people who say Jokic should have won the MVP that like aren't part of like the Nuggets media.
I mean,
Like it's
bro,
everybody.
I don't know. He won the MVP.
I know. I'm saying like 300 and something voting people gave him first place votes, dog.
I mean, show me these media members. Every time I look at a segment, they're shitting on him. All the players are shitting on him. Like, I think if you go back to what was it, 2019, when Giannis won his second?
Yeah.
There was a lot of players who said Giannis should have won it. Like, I don't know if there's any players that are backing Jokic. Like, they all wanted Joel Embiid. Everybody wanted. I don't think it's ever been this lopsided. Besides, like, maybe the Steve Nash Kobe one.
Yeah. But it was very lopsided in the voting, though.
Yeah, because like the people who vote, a lot of the people who vote are analyst nerds. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's
then, like-
actually that's exactly what Nick Wright said too. Was like these guys are just fucking like stat nerds, like ESPN stat nerds that are voting, and that's why Jokic was gonna win.
Or the fact that fucking Jokic is a better player than Joel Embiid. He fucking carried his team. Niggas is like, oh, Joel Embiid didn't have Ben Simmons. I'm like, okay, like who the fuck did Jokic have? Like was Monte Morris was the second best player. Like
Aaron Gordon, bro, a tank.
It's true that fucking Embiid has 3 teammates that are better than all of Jokic's teammates.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Maxey
And then
Harris, and then Harden.
he didn't have Ben Simmons, but halfway through the season, he fucking exchanged him for James Harden. And even though this is fucking Kmart version of James Harden, like James Harden is still better than anybody on the goddamn Nuggets outside of Jokic. You know what I mean?
Said Kmart version.
Why he said Kmart?
I'm just saying, like that's just not even around anymore, bro.
Right?
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. These dudes be tripping.
Yeah.
I heard like Lick Wright was using like the playoffs as an indicator. Like Joel Embiid is still playing and Jokic isn't. It's like, bro, we got waxed by the Warriors without our second and third best options. You know what I mean? Like, look at I don't know. I'm like I wasn't even feeling a waves, and I feel like I'm about to talk myself into getting worked up, and I don't want to.
Nick Wright was a big Giannis supporter for MVP, and so was Chris Broussard. I like watching their show. They tend to favor the Bucks, so my bad. I do it. It's not my fault. I am who I am. So, speaking of the Warriors, so again, Chris, the Nuggets fan, you know, kind of got that belt by the Warriors, which I mean, it's like no one faults the Nuggets for, right? I mean, y'all have Jokic and some guys versus the fucking Golden State Warriors that are just playing on lights out at the moment. But it was funny because you were talking about how they have like a broken brand of basketball, which I think is kind of hilarious, but I mean, kind of interesting too. So like, are you talking about their small ball lineup with Jordan Poole and like Draymond at the 5 and shit?
Yeah, like it's just all of it. You know what I mean? Like these guys they just like it's like the gates open a little bit and then it turns into a waterfall immediately. It's like 2 of them motherfuckers hit the shots. It's like you're early in the third quarter and then Jordan Poole hits a shot, Klay Thompson hits a shot, then Andrew Wiggins hits a shot, like all in a row, and you're like, oh, we're about to lose this game. It's like 9 minutes. We're 9 minutes. And I'm like in the third quarter, and I'm like, we're about to lose. And I don't understand how this continuously happens. Also, like I was thinking how like this is unprecedented, how the Warriors had this dynasty. We all thought they were done. And these motherfuckers really just retooled and they're back to spanking the league again.
Yeah.
This shit is fucking nuts.
I mean, they fucking go a year where they're a lottery team. And then the second year, they didn't make the playoffs, so they got a decent pick there too. And then they got good compensation from when they traded D'Lo too. Like they really did rebuild in a matter of like 2 seasons, just off
Warriors
of like
have 2 all-star starters too, and
Yeah.
Wiggins and Curry.
yeah. And then Jordan Poole is just fucking ridiculous. Like he just
Keep it
snapped
going.
this year. Yeah, he snapped this year too. But I mean, in reality, that the second retooling would have never happened if they didn't get hurt, though. So if not, then it probably would have been over. You think, right? Because then they
Well,
wouldn't have been able to get some of the picks and the assets or whatever.
or the dynasty would have just never ended.
Right, they would have kept going. If they would have stayed healthy, they're winning versus Toronto. They had to lose
Well, I
Clay
know that.
and Kevin Durant, so it's like that would have been a 3-peat.
I mean,
And
yeah,
then
fair.
Let's say Kevin Durant leaves anyway.
Yeah,
and
which
then
is
still-
more likely.
A healthy.
Well, I don't know
Warriors.
about most likely. I don't know.
No, because
Like,
he was beefing with Draymond when they were healthy, right? And like he even said, the whole Draymond situation is kind of what made him, want to dip. So I still think that he was going to be gone regardless.
He wins 3 in a row and he has an opportunity to win 4. He's gonna walk away from that.
I mean,
That's
like I said,
something-
I mean,
Like,
the relationship was severed at that point, right? And that's when they're spanking the fucking league. They're fully healthy, so it's kind of expected that they're gonna win another one right
they
there
did
that
it.
year.
and
Huh?
they didn't. And then they didn't.
Yeah,
You know what helps patch up relationships?
winning.
Championship.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if it's a guarantee that Kevin Durant walks away from that. And if he does, like,
Okay.
that's kind of fucking weird.
Yeah, so
Like-
that's true too. So it's like, again, if they stay healthy, it just keeps going. Whether Kevin Durant
Yeah.
stays or goes.
Like, I think the only person to win 4 in a row is what? Bill Russell?
Probably. That's way like. Does that shit even count? No, I'm just playing.
Or Kevin McHale. Did the Larry? No, they didn't.
No, they only won.
No.
They won a total of 3. Kevin
Yeah.
Durant would have had an opportunity to win 4 in a row. I don't think he's walking away from that, bro. Like,
I honestly think he does, bro. KD's just one of them guys. I feel like,
I mean, he went to the Warriors to win championships.
and then he
Right.
did, and then, bro. I mean, we'll never know, but I'm telling you, I really feel like he was dipping regardless. Like I
Like, he's
truly
cool.
believe that.
He's cool.
Like after
with
winning
Draymond
3 in a
now.
row,
Yeah.
That's- I
LeBron
think
said the
that's-
same thing. LeBron said the same thing. He said if they would have won in 2014, he would have never left.
Yeah.
he said that. Fuck, man, they should have won.
He said, "Fuck."
Yeah. Yep. Now the Heat are screwed and will never win again while Giannis is in the East.
I don't know about that, bro.
That's funny. Miami fucking spanked them guys tonight. That was pretty cool.
They did
With-
destroy Philly.
With consent. They had consent.
I don't know if that was consensual the way that they
That was
they
consensual.
beat up Joel Embiid's face again.
They agreed to play. They showed up.
Chris, to your point though about the Warriors, like I don't understand. To your point, like I don't understand how they get away with it because it feels like they're undersized in every spot for the most part. Like Clay is not the defender that he was, right? Wiggins isn't even really in that lineup when they have like Jordan Poole in there. Dre is literally the only 5, so it's like I don't know.
Wiggins is. He's
Wiggins,
the 4.
it's Curry, Clay, Poole, Dre, and
Wiggins,
then
Draymond.
fine.
Good.
And then Kaminga too, bro. This guy's fucking cold too. Anyway, but regardless, I still feel like they're severely undersized all the time. So I don't understand how the fuck they can
They
get
make up
away
for
with
on
this, thing.
offense.
It's Draymond Green, bro.
Yeah.
Bro. But he
Draymond
could
Green.
only be by the basket so much.
I mean,
No, he's
gave
at the
Jokic
top of the key
problems.
initiating, bro.
Yeah, on the offensive side, I'm talking about defensively and like rebounding. They still
Well,
rebound the fuck out the basketball when they're a small ball team, and it's ridiculous. I don't understand.
I mean, you've seen him play Jokic, bro. Like,
he's gonna have. I think he might have problems next round versus Ayton if they advance.
I do
But
too.
right now he's banging with
Jaren Jackson,
Jaren Jackson or Steven Adams.
bro.
like I said,
They don't even
bro, like,
play Steven Adams because of their
So
fucking.
he played yesterday.
He played yesterday?
Yeah.
Well,
Or fucking Claxton. That's his name.
I thought Claxton
down
was
just
on the
for-
Nets.
There's
Claxton's on the
another.
Nets.
Is Claxton his name?
I don't know.
I know.
There's a Claxton on the Nets.
There's one on Memphis too.
He missed 10 free throws in a row in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Tough. But I mean, even with Draymond, bro, like again, I understand how good he is defensively, but I don't understand how they have such a great defensive rating and then offensively it makes sense. But for them to be able to take care of both sides of the ball is just fucking nuts. It's still
like I
16.
said, like Jokic is arguably the most talented. No, he's not arguably. He is the most talented big man in the game. And Draymond gave him problems. I don't think he's worried about DeAndre Ayton, bro.
Well,
Oh, I meant Brendan Clark, not Claxton. No,
Gotcha.
I think DeAndre Ayton is gonna give Draymond problems.
yeah.
I
least on-
I don't know how to formulate that into a bet, but if I could, I definitely would take that bet.
I mean, it's just because it's gonna be Chris Paul in the pick and roll, and the Warriors guards aren't gonna. Chris Paul is either gonna fucking spoon feed DeAndre, or that middle is gonna be wide open because they're not gonna be able to go under that screen because they'll just pull for three.
I mean, the Warriors have a pretty good defense, and they were keeping up with John Morant. Like, I don't think they're just going to be completely lost on defense. Like, Chris Paul is going to do what he does, but I don't think he's going to just completely torch them.
You can make the argument that the perimeter defenders he's going against now versus Dallas are better than the ones in Golden State. Because it's Jordan Poole and Klay Thompson on the wings defending.
I hear you.
Chris, I'm really confident what Chris Paul will do against that.
I hear you, but like, what was Dallas's defensive rating throughout the season?
They were actually
they improved.
Yeah, they were in the
throughout
top.
the season.
Yeah.
They just got better and better as the season went on.
Yeah.
I hear you, but like, there's a reason why the Warriors are like. It's not like they just became a good defensive team or it's fluky. Like, they've always been a good defensive team. There was a point in the season where they were the number one rated defense.
Dallas is tied for number 2.
I just think Chris Paul will.
This
have
is the
success
playoffs. My
against
bad.
that. Which isn't really a bold prediction, honestly. Saying Chris Paul is going to have success against someone.
Like that's
But
what
I think
I'm saying.
the size difference between Draymond and DeAndre Ayton is why I say, like, I think DeAndre Ayton is going to give Draymond great problems because that pick and roll, like, DeAndre Ayton is going to be so tough to guard because he hit the mid range too. So it's like he's picking and popping, or he's picking and rolling, or he's picking it, like going corner, going baseline.
Dallas had the number 7 defensive rating. But the Warriors had the number 2 defensive rating.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. We'll see.
Phoenix was number
Well,
3.
I think Phoenix is going to get by Dallas.
You said Phoenix is gonna what?
I think Phoenix will get by Dallas.
Imagine they
They'll win
don't
the
though.
series.
Imagine how epic that'd be.
If they don't, it's going to be freaking Luka versus Steph. That would be fucking. That'd be some good television. I feel like.
I honestly think that the Warriors would beat their ass.
Yeah, nobody's trying to see a
Yeah,
Dallas Mavericks dog. but-
Luka can go for 45 all the time. And shit.
Yeah. All right, so we're in pretty much game 5s, right? All across the board right now. Yeah, we're in game 5s all the way across the board. What is our second round currently NBA predictions?
The Heat, the Bucks,
Right.
the Phoenix Suns, and the Warriors, right? I mean, I think those are,
Correct.
yeah, I think those are pretty like gimmies.
I'm nervous, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like after last game, at least last game was the most noticeable of like not having Chris Middleton and him not being there. Like closing games and like when Drew Holiday is not very efficient at all. Like there's just no one that's able to create like a mid-range shot for themselves or hit a mid-range shot for themselves. So like Giannis has to go fucking nuts. And then to close the games, that fucking 3-4 pick and roll with Giannis and Middleton, like that shit is so difficult to stop because Giannis puts so much pressure on the fucking basket. And Chris is a good enough passer. You could lob it to him. You could, pocket pass, whatever. Or they just create enough space and Chris is just gonna pop a mid-range jumper and he's gonna hit that shit to end games. And like you saw that in the game yesterday, like when it's close like that and they're just overloading on Giannis, it's like who's gonna be able to create that space? Who's gonna be able to hit that shot? So this shit made me a little nervous.
Yeah,
maybe
Let's go back to Boston too for the last 2 of the last 3 games.
Yeah. So we'll see. But more of the story, it can't be Bucks in 6 if you don't lose 2. So we lost 2.
Nigga dumb.
The math
mean,
makes sense.
The math makes sense, Pete, which is important because
Math is
we know how I am with math.
Nigga don't know math at all. So.
On an unrelated topic, kind of switching back, it was funny. I thought it was fun when we had that music discussion. Pete, wish you would have been there. That was fun.
Yeah.
It's all good. But we have on here. So we have 2 topics that are kind of asking the same thing: is rap a dangerous profession / music's contribution to violence? They're not the same thing, but I feel like they could coincide. I think the dangerous part about rap is when you're like on the rise and you're making it, but then you can't like separate yourself from like who you were or like where you were in the shit that you used to do. And then that's how you get yourself into trouble. And that's when it becomes dangerous for yourself as like the artist on that front. Because then everyone fucking knows who you are. Everyone knows that you're making money, but then like you're still around, certain bad places. And I feel like it makes you an easy target on that end. Or like just the way you move is as if you're, still like fighting for your fucking life, every single day type of thing. So I do think it can be dangerous, but not like in totality, I guess.
I don't really think rap is. If you would have asked me that shit a couple of weeks back, I would have said yeah, but I don't think rap is dangerous. I think the internet is more dangerous than rap, right? I think the internet put this shit in people's minds that a lot of these things is real, and people more often than not is trying to portray this image and trying to live up to this hype that don't exist. Because a lot of these people go home to their wives, their kids. At one point, I think it was Jimmy Iovine that was telling some of these hip hop artists, like, stop telling people you're married and all this stuff because they're not gonna buy into what you're talking about. You get what I'm saying? Like, so just like even recently with this whole Young Thug shit, when that shit unravel, that shit is going to be fucking psychotic in totality. Like,
For those who don't know in the audience, what Young Thug stuff are you referring to?
YSL got hit with the RICO, like how I be talking about how they get people to get hit with more years. One dude could do something, murder, trafficking, grand larceny, all this crazy shit, and they will tie it to the whole group because they'll find some way, shape, or form to be like, oh, Thug sent out a hit, so, and then Gunna knew about it, and then Chris okayed it, and then David had the getaway car, and then Rook had the mic to relay the message to everybody. Boom, Rico. All right. So everybody got hit with this shit. So with Young Thug's case, which is wild as fuck, because what I was gonna say prior, a lot of these kids, it's not rap that's dangerous. If I'm 20, 21, 22, it's a young man's sport, right? I was fucked up in the trenches longer than I was rich. And there was things that I've done before I got this contract. And I just had this conversation earlier. It's things you have to pay for in this life, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, whenever you do things, right? So now I become famous. I'm in the limelight. I had beef with motherfuckers that back in Golden Acres or whatever, I became rich for a year. The beef don't just stop because I came rich. That's not how life works, motherfucker. If I rob this dude, slap this grandma, did some wild shit, you know, it's just because I came rich and have security. Motherfuckers is still looking for me. And now I feel like the access to me becomes easier because now I'm on the internet, made the world flat. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I said a whole bunch of stuff. So rap can be dangerous because of the internet, but a lot of these dudes' lifestyles was dangerous before rap.
Really quick, Chris, to kind of go off that, I guess when you tie in the internet component, like I agree, the internet is more dangerous, right? So then what happens is you get into a spot where like there's dudes that are chasing that clout. So then they start doing this stupid shit. Like that's not even like tattooing their fucking face, dyeing their hair, you know, getting, you know, crazy teeth or whatever, fucking rainbow teeth, trying to be like 6ix9ine or something like that, you know, like trying to follow that fucking path that, like, for example, 6ix9ine built or whatever, or the whatever path that he took. And like that becomes dangerous when you're trying to be this persona that you're not, just because you're trying to get the clout in order to sell some shit too. So.
I think that really only applies to 6ix9ine though.
What do you mean?
Like, all right, so if we talk about all the rappers who end up in these dangerous situations, these are all people that were already fucked up. And they just continue doing what they were doing before. Like, all right, so like Peterson was talking about how, like, I think what Peterson was talking about, how you can't outrun your problems. The best example of that is Lil Durk, how he ended up getting that felony for the gun. But it was like, well, fuck, he had so much beef from back then. Like, I would be with the gun too. I'll take my risk. You know what I mean?
Facts.
But you got somebody like Young Dolph, like he's been in the game for a long time. It doesn't seem like it, but he has. But he's still out on the streets beefing with people. And then what happens? They fucking shoot him up in a cookie shop. You know what I mean? Same thing with King Von. King Von wasn't even in the city. He was beefing with some random fucking dudes in Atlanta. Random. Some shit at a nightclub. But that's just him just carrying on his lifestyle from before he was rich. He's doing the same shit. He's in the club talking to people the same way. And unfortunately, he ended up getting his life taken away from it.
Yeah, but
like, I think
the Von situation, that was been a beef between NBA Youngboy and OTF them people. And that's when Lil Tom shot him because he ran into him and they end up scrapping. He scrapped with what's his dude name?
Regardless, doesn't matter. He got into a beef with NBA Youngboy after he got famous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not some beef that caught up to him from when he was 18 years old.
No. Yeah, you're right.
This is him proceeding to do the same shit that he was doing before he got famous.
Yeah.
I think the only person that Rook's example applies to is Tekashi.
Yeah.
Where he's doing some stupid shit that he wouldn't have done if he wasn't famous. Same thing with Triple X. Triple X was fucking crazy, bro. Like, niggas been crazy.
X was crazy. X was into a whole bunch of shit. And then a lot of these people, and the conversation could get deeper, but I'm not even going to make it that deep, pause. But like, a lot of these people already been fucked up, already been traumatized, PTSD, all this crazy shit. And then a lot of these people feel like they should already be situated mentally by here's 30 million. Now you should be good with life. That's not how fucking life works. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's weird. Like, I've been out of Miami for 16 years now. I came here going on 50. I still catch myself sometimes, motherfucker behind me, and I'm twitching. Like, what the fuck you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? I still catch myself at 31 years old behaving as if I'm still in that type of environment because that shit is real. You know what I'm saying? Like, or if somebody stepped to me at a fucking coffee shop, I have to defend myself in a certain way. And I gotta, like, down the street from me, it's the fucking suburbs, nigga. Like Disney right here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to be hostile and have all this animosity towards these people. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just because they skipped me a line, bitch. You can have that line. I don't give a fuck. I don't even like coffee, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just came in this bitch to get a dragon fruit refresher, some fucking pastries. Like, but I'm over here. I'm in this bitch hostile. Like, I gotta fuck this dude up because I'm protecting myself in a way that I'm really not. Like, this dude credit score probably 850, and that don't even exist. Like, you know, like. And you expect these kids that been in this shit for 18 years and out of it for 2.5. Like, Von just got famous. Even though he been in the rap game for a minute, but he just started booming and he met his demise because of the lifestyle that he was. They called the man the Grim Reaper. This dude allegedly killed 6 people before he boomed.
Sheesh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that was his name in the streets, the Grim Reaper. Like, they're not calling you that for no reason. Like, he was supposedly OTS hitman.
But like I want to answer that question with yes. You tell me that you expect these guys to change their ways, and I say yes, I do expect it.
So you expect soldiers that go to war to come back that act normal?
On some level, yeah.
That's in a perfect world or in this world?
No, I'm saying like I get it. Like when it happens, you understand why it happens, but like you're rapping so you can get out of this shit.
Yes.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah. So it's like once you're out of it, like why are you still in it?
Yeah, like are you just like at that point, what was the point of even getting famous? Just for the money? So you could do crazier shit with money? Like
but don't they say so why we have certain sayings like money don't change you, it's just expose who you are on a bigger scale.
Right, but like no, that's absolutely correct, but that's also a cliche. It's almost like money doesn't solve your problems, but like it fucking does. It solves a lot of your problems.
It makes it a lot easier. It doesn't solve everything, but it makes it
easier. To a certain extent. To a certain extent. I'll say to a certain extent.
Like if you're fucked up, like you're out in the streets doing crazy shit because you're in a particular situation.
Yeah.
You make $1 million and now you're not in that situation and you choose to go back into that situation. I feel like I'm allowed to call you stupid.
I think that's too surface level. I'm in the VA like every 3 months due to my medical condition, right? Because I'm constantly getting tested and wires and all this shit that I can't stand, but I can't stop it. I have to keep going. Some of these people I run into way older than me, like way older than me. Sometimes I'll be like, God damn, motherfucker, you had, sorry, pardon my French, but you had 60 years to get this shit together and you still fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, still fried. Like some of these stories I hear is as if these people never even came out of their situations. Like they still in Vietnam, Desert Storm, Iraq, like Iraqi freedom, whatever you can think of, they still there. Like they never left that shit.
Well, how many of those people are also coming back with like millions of dollars though, and being able to get out of like their location and shit?
I'll counter that. Like, so these people come back fucked up for more, and then they abuse their wife, they abuse their kids. You could be like, well, it's because they went to war, but I still blame them for that shit. They still gotta take responsibility for that shit.
Which is true, but I feel like sometimes we equate responsibility for what I'm trying to say. Like,
accountability?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm feeling.
But in a way, yeah, you have accountability. You know me. Like, I take full accountability and all that. But some people, I feel like it's almost as if because I don't want to get too personal because I'm thinking of somebody personal, but it's almost as if they can't get out of that. Like when I was in therapy for a little while, I've been in therapy for like 5 years in totality. And my therapist said some shit that was so profound one time. He was like, be careful of what you do, right? And I was like, I mean, your parents tell you that shit. But the way he was saying it, he's like, eventually you get in a black hole. And 9 out of 10 times you don't get out of the black hole, no matter how long your life stretch it out. You could live to 120, you still in that black hole. It just looks a little different as the scenarios change. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like some of these people, it's almost as if, and it's gonna sound harsh, it's almost as if like for that behavior to stop, they gotta die, like type shit. Like it's not gonna stop until they die. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta disagree with you, my brother. Like, all right, so let's take it down a notch because I feel like the aspect that we're tackling is pretty intense. One that's probably more, yeah, the aspect that's probably more relatable to most people is financial literacy.
Yes.
So a lot of us grew up in a situation like we grew up in this capitalist shit. A lot of us grew up without a lot of money. So we end up with a credit card, we end up with access to shit, and a lot of us end up making a lot of bad decisions. Facts. I'm surrounded with these people. I've been surrounded by these people my entire life. Facts. So you got somebody who never had shit, and now they're in an opportunity where they can have shit, and now they end up fucking their credit up, they end up in debt, they end up doing all this stupid shit, right? According to what you're telling me, using that same train of thought, they're almost trapped in the same hole, right? Like, yes. But it's still up to you to get out of that hole. I could be like, I understand why you're in that hole. I could be like, okay, I get it, why you're there. But it's still up to you to get out of it. I'm working with people, I swear to God, Peterson, I'm not lying. I'm working with people who are making more than $200,000 a year.
Yeah.
And these guys are all fucked. You look at their lifestyle and you're like, where's all this money going? Like, I got a boss who can't even have credit cards. Like, his wife won't let him have them. He's making $200,000 a year. He's not allowed to have a credit card. That's nuts.
Yeah,
but don't that kind of go into the train of thought that I'm speaking on though? Like,
but what I'm saying is that that's his fault. I'm saying that is 100% his fault. There has to be a point where you recognize it and you're like, okay, I got to change this. When it comes to these rappers, like Young Dolph, for example, there had to be a point where he's like, this is fucking stupid. I got kids. I got all this money. I have all these opportunities in front of me. Let me let this shit go. I get what you're saying because it's hard. He's just in this tunnel.
Yeah.
But not being aware of your tunnel is going to sound harsh, but that's your problem.
In that sense, I agree with you because what caused me to change my trajectory in life is because the 70-30 rule, it's a book. I just bought that shit too. But the 70-30 rule, a lot of people have it fucked up and flipped. A lot of people feel like 30% is what they can control, 70% is out of their control. But that's hella fucking cap. Like, that is straight bullshit. Like, it's 70% what you can control, 30% what you can't, right? More or less. But I feel like that's in a perfect, more often than not, just like what you were saying with the broke shit. Most people that are born into poverty die in poverty and so on and so forth. So it has to be something there that's causing that, or else we will all be rich. You know what I'm saying? Like, in a sense.
It's human nature. It's human nature. That's what it is. Like, we follow the path of least resistance.
Facts.
Like, a lot of people that are fucked up know that they're fucked up. They just don't take the steps to not be fucked up anymore.
It's easier to be lazy. That's like my famous quote.
You grow up in an abusive household. You recognize that the abuse is bad, but then you end up an abuser yourself. Facts. You just fall into your own trap. You recognize it, you see it, but it takes effort for you to step away from it. And most
Facts.
people don't want to put that effort in. I know that sounds very, like you said, that's very simplistic. That's very surface level. But in all honesty, according to how I feel I think that's what it comes down to. Is that there got to be a point in your life where you sit there and just pause, you freeze time, and you're like, okay, like I got to make some changes. But that's difficult. That self-reflection that translates into the accountability, that translates into the steps to take yourself out of the bad habits that you've basically been programmed to accomplish. That takes a lot of work. And a lot of people aren't willing to do that.
I agree with you. I feel like we got the same train of thought in a way. We just wording it different. I completely agree with you because
I think we're covering a bunch of the same bases just from different lights.
so bringing it back to the hip hop shit, is just the ecosystem that was created. Like, and that shit ain't going away anytime soon, dog. Like, that's what
What do you
makes it
mean the
dangerous.
ecosystem that was created?
I think of Tupac, right? Because like everybody knows Tupac went like to an art school, and he was broke, and he's seen his share of things, but for the most part, his mom tried to do everything that she can for him. You know what I mean? But he ended up rapping, and what happens with rap is that it's self-enforcing, right? So like you're rapping about killing people and selling drugs, and it's successful. You end up becoming successful because of the things that you're talking about. It's almost tempting to fall into that same trap. Yeah. So what ends up happening with Tupac, that's why Tupac died. Because Tupac wasn't around his regular people. If he was with the outlaws, they've all spoke about it. If we were there that day, we would have got him out of there. We know his word. He was with a bunch of like 19-year-old Pyrus.
Yeah.
He got into a fucking argument with some guy in Las Vegas, some guy he didn't even know. They end up jumping the guy, and then the guy comes back and shoots him up. If he was around people who gave a fuck about him, people who like understood the value of what he represented, he wouldn't end up in that situation.
Facts.
But because of like, it's almost like because I'm rapping about this shit, because I'm supposed to be this image, I feel like it's like this pressure to do this stupid shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why when we grow up, they say, watch when you tell a lie because eventually you'll become the lie. Because you tell the shit so much, you start to live in this persona that's not even you. Some shit that you created, and now you have to, in your mind, abide by these laws and rules and regulations that has nothing to do with you.
They're fucking imaginary. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's fuck, because they say no snitching, but niggas snitch left and right all day, every day. I've seen the shit with my own eyes. Like, so it's like, why is we saying no snitching, but all you niggas snitch anyway? 50 snitch, the chick that managed Meek Mill snitch, like Snoop Dogg snitch, Suge Knight snitch, like all these people snitch, but there's no snitching. It's weird. You know what I'm saying? So we living and dying by these rules that we don't even believe in ourselves to begin with.
The snitching thing is crazy because you know who created the snitching rule?
Who?
The mafia.
That's wild. Yeah.
So what the mafia would do is they would terrorize these neighborhoods, and they basically brainwash the kids into believing that in order to be loyal to your own people, you have to keep your mouth shut. So you have your own business, and I would show up, I'll beat the shit out of you, I'll beat the shit out of your kids, your wife, demand a certain amount of money. And in order for you to be true to your culture,
I can't tell.
You can't tell anybody. I'm basically driving you to poverty, and I convinced you that that's the better way to go. And somewhere along the line, rap culture picked that shit up. It's fucking retarded. You're ruining my community. You goddamn sure I'm gonna call the cops on you. Fuck you. Fuck you. You know, like.
I mean, but is it? I get what you're saying, but at the same time, isn't that the better route to go? Because isn't it if they snitch, then they kill them?
Yeah, I mean that's another part is the
Allegedly.
fear. Well, the fear.
The mafia will fucking do it.
Yeah. There was a point in time where like you ended up snitching and you ended up dying.
Yeah.
But the culture ended up perpetuating itself, where it went from fear to this is what you're supposed to do. These are the rules that we live by.
Yeah.
And this is what Peterson is talking about. Like, these are just made up rules by a bunch of fucking. The crazy thing is that these people don't even follow these rules. Because when
They
you think
don't.
of when you think of the mafia, when you think of the Crips, when you think of the Bloods, when you think of the cartel, they also have a set of rules that they're supposed to live by. And they constantly break them. Like they don't, whenever, like they live by these rules as long as it's convenient. As soon as it becomes inconvenient, they throw the fucking rule book out the window. But for whatever reason, you as a civilian who has nothing
Have
to do
to
with
follow
anything,
it.
you gotta follow this shit. Like it's crazy.
You know how much snitches was in the fucking mafia? Like that's how they infiltrated a lot of these gangs. Like
There's a guy right now who has like a YouTube channel, and like he basically became famous for like ratting out his section of the mafia in New York. Like that's
Oh shit.
and what he does is he like looks at you like famous mafia movies, and he rates them based off of like their sincerity, like how true they are.
Mm.
and he a big ass snitch.
Mm.
Hey,
Like,
so I was reading this shit on Twitter, and I didn't realize. I mean, I'm not like super into like all the shit that's going on, like with people in the rap game, and like if they're getting shot, or if they're in trouble, whatever. Sorry. But now it makes sense when someone was talking about how come they can't RICO the KKK. And I didn't realize like why people were talking about RICOing on Twitter. But like people like know that people are within the organization, right?
But like, what would they do with the KKK?
Lock all them motherfuckers up, no?
For what?
I don't know. Like, for
domestic
example,
terrorism.
yeah, I'm saying like, so if they're out there, and I don't wish this obviously, but like if I know that there's situations where they're like hanging people still, or like,
Wait, time out. I gotta shut this down. When's the last time somebody got lynched? Like 1980?
nah, bro. I feel like I just seen some shit like that on the news.
Nah, that wasn't. Hell no. They don't know if it was by the KKK or not, but somebody got lynched not too long ago.
Yeah.
I've heard of people hanging themselves
All right, but that's not the
from a
KKK.
tree.
Yeah, the guy in the forest not too long ago. I could look it up, but that wasn't. I don't know if that was related to the KKK though, so I'm not gonna say that. Like,
Could the people involved with January 6th be charged on RICO? Could Donald Trump get charged for RICO?
nah, now we doing the most. Like he didn't
He told
conspire
them
with
we're gonna have
these
to
people.
fight, bro.
They definitely, now the Supreme Court considered it, but there wasn't enough there. He was just talking shit like he usually does. It resulted.
But people did what he told. Like
He didn't,
was.
but he didn't conspire with these people. It's not like he sat down with these people and say, "This is what we're doing." That's the only way you could sit there and get hit with a RICO. Like
That would have been a really, really tough case to like. That would have stuck. I don't think. And then on top of that, he's also a previous president, and at the time, he was still the president.
and he don't know these niggas. Like how he going?
So the Trumpos, they're living by that mafia rule. They're mad loyal to this dude, bro. They're like, it was us, not him.
He just don't know these niggas. Like he don't know none of these motherfuckers' names that he be talking to in a general sense. Like it's not. He can't get hit with it. He don't know them. Like from a can of paint.
He ain't texting them.
Yeah.
Trump shit, bro. Like he just be talking shit, bro. They ran into the Capitol, and I guarantee you, he was surprised. He's like, "Oh shit, that's crazy."
He was like, "Oh man, they actually did it."
I guarantee you.
I mean, yeah.
Like the
It's tough to-
KKK, it's not a crime organization. It's just like a bunch of niggas who, like, there was a point in time where they what? But now they're just a bunch of old white guys who talk shit. They don't do anything. Or at least we can't link them to anything. You know what I mean? Like we have to actually like build the conspiracy. And I don't think there's enough there to do it.
Back then they should have got hit with a RICO, but we know they couldn't because a lot of motherfuckers that was in office was
motherfuckers were in the KKK.
Yeah.
Presidents were in the KKK. Yeah, like
president's dads and shit was grandmasters and shit like that. So why the fuck would I indict my fucking uncle? Like that don't make sense. Like, like that don't make sense.
Yeah, like
Oh.
there's some self-proclaimed white supremacists, and I'm telling you, they're just like it's a white dude. He got his hair slicked back,
Shit talking.
got a very punchable face, and he just talks a bunch of shit. He's like, like I don't feel like Mexicans should be crossing the border. Like we can't RICO him for that shit. You know what I mean? He's just an asshole.
All right, another question. It could just be terrible TV. I was watching this TV show called The Rookie, and which actually I like the TV show, but like this this episode I thought was like dumb. But so have you guys ever heard of the show? It's this cop that's like fucking 40 and he goes in as like an entry level, like he's just now becoming a cop and he's 40 or whatever. And he's in LA. And long story short, there was this episode where there was a hit put out on him by like this white supremacist like biker gang or some shit like that. So then in order to get the hit off, the cops were like, all right, well, we're gonna start shutting down your operation, and started like arresting everybody, like started having them like hemorrhage money because they're shutting down their operation. The entire time in my head, I'm like, wait, so y'all waited for there to be a hit on one of your cops to decide to try to like ruin this biker gang's whole operation? I was very confused by that because they like knew exactly where to go and where to hit to fucking shut the shit down, right? So in my mind, I'm like, how is this a good like plot progression here? Is like, if you knew the whole organization, why'd you wait until now? Like, why is this shit not already cut off?
This is very normal.
So like that happens in real life?
Yes.
But why?
Because they don't care enough to do anything.
Yeah, I was about to say
what?
Like they know where the Crips and Bloods are at. They know exactly who runs it. They know all these things. There's like 3 cops who are in charge of like keeping up with them. But if these same Crips murdered somebody who was important, now all of a sudden they get a whole task force and now they got to do something.
Yeah.
That's basically what happens. Same thing with the mafia, same thing with all these different places, the cartel. They're allowed to do whatever they got to do until they step over the line. And when they step over the line, that's when enough people give a fuck about, the situation in order for retaliation to take place.
They did that shit with Freeway.
Yeah.
The Freeway task force, because he was moving. This man was making like $5 million a week type shit. Like, and then when he got too powerful and started offing people, then the crack epidemic flooded because of him, and a whole bunch of shit because of him started ruining neighborhoods. They was like, nah, we got to stop this motherfucker. But they knew what he was doing prior to that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Like,
I don't understand that. Like, why don't they stop? Because if you stop it beforehand, then there's not this guy's starting to kill people, so now we're gonna stop it, or this is getting out of control now, so now we're gonna stop it.
The thing is that, like, usually at the time, like, there's always somebody who gives a fuck. It's just about the amount of their reach and how much resources they have access to, right? So, like, I'm looking at Freeway doing what he's doing, but, like, if I arrest him, nothing's going to happen because I can't stick him to anything. What you need is a group of people who can track his movements, track the movements of his subordinates, and build a case. That's what you need. So, like, you know exactly where the cartel is working, but you can't do shit until you can build a case against them. And in order to build a case against them, you need a group of people. In order to get a group of people, you need the fucking funds. And in order to get the funds, you need the people on top to give a fuck. That's how it works.
Same shit with El Chapo. El Chapo was at in front of the White House until he started acting dumb. And it was like, nah, we finna get your dumb ass. Like, you acting crazy. Like, yeah. He was doing all that shit and showed up in front of the White House, and he just started chopping motherfucking heads off left and right and just.
Bro, if that's not a power move, I don't know what is.
What a jerk.
Yeah, for real. And then
Look.
I think when they started giving fuck about El Chapo, he wanted to become president, and they was like, "Nah, you
Yeah.
doing too much."
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what happened to what's this guy's name? The other famous,
Escobar.
the one from Colombia,
Pablo.
Yeah, he
Oh, that's
Oh,
not
oh,
who
he
you're
got
talking
president
about.
too.
Pablo Escobar. Like he started.
He started
dissing
off
people.
in government officials, dog.
Yeah.
Like,
Like it was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and one of his guys shot a rocket launcher at a government building, and then they were like, okay, like this might have been too far.
Here's the final straw.
Yeah, this is it.
but he
Yeah,
went on
that's
to
what-
do more crazy shit. Like,
Same shit with Griselda Blanco. A lot of people don't even know her true story. Like, I think she ended up killing like 300 something people with her own hand. They was like, bro, this bitch is crazy. Like, we gotta get rid of her. Like,
Again, you just got to trigger enough people to create your own downfall. That's what usually happens.
yeah, Griselda Blanco at one point, they was like, if we let her keep going, she gonna be like the new Hitler. And they was like, nah, we finna stop this shit like now, cause she's just going bonkers at this point. So we gotta get rid of this shit.
Yeah.
Damn, that is a wild concept to me.
Oh yeah.
My bad. I'm just ignorant on the shit, I guess. I don't know. I always thought it's like, oh, they're doing bad shit, so let's stop them doing bad shit. But
All right. So like let
it's
me
not.
let me challenge your thought process with a couple more thoughts. Like we know Social Security is going to become an artifact once we become of age, right?
Mhm.
Can you tell me what we're doing about it?
Not a goddamn thing.
So like we know that the pharmaceutical industry and the FDA are just completely fucked. They're in cahoots with one another.
Mhm.
They're basically their whole job, their existence is to take advantage of sick people, overcharge them, and create a market where nobody else can stabilize the prices. We all understand this. Whether you're conservative or whether you're a liberal, you know that this is going on. What are we doing about it?
They
Well, I mean,
only
with
give
that,
a fuck
yeah.
a little bit because of fentanyl.
We're doing nothing.
Yeah.
Right? We understand how fucked up these government contracts are. And again, like we all understand this shit. The thing is that if not enough people give a fuck, nothing matters. Right? Like as Americans, and I'm saying Americans because I don't have perspective into other countries, like our priorities are fucked. So instead of dealing with like Social Security, a problem that like a gigantic fucking problem, we're worried about NFL players kneeling. You know what I mean? Like that's what our priorities are. Like we need to figure out like why these guys aren't fucking standing up during a song. Like those are the problems we need to fix. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
get that son of a bitch off the field.
Like honestly, the whole crime thing, because like the Irish and the Italian mafia were creating a bunch more problems prior to the 50s. But you know what happened in the 50s? Black people got tired of being abused and they created gangs. So once black people started committing crimes on a massive conspiracy level scale, is when people are like, oh, I'm scared for my safety. When Irish people were fucking you up, that wasn't a problem. Right? It's, you know what I mean? Like, people started giving a fuck because they already didn't like black people, essentially. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really what it takes. And now, rookie, in order to solve problems, you need to campaign to get people to give a fuck. That's what happens.
Facts.
Mm.
It's almost like if I don't see it and it's not affecting me, I don't give a fuck. So who cares? Like, literally, like down the
That's
street,
exactly what it is.
down the street, motherfuckers are getting off every day. Like
I'm the
Pine
problem.
Hills, Silver Star, Hiawassee, fucking Meridia, McLaren Circle. Let them bring that dumb shit here. Oh, niggas gonna give a fuck then.
Yeah.
They're gonna bring in the damn. Let somebody in fucking what's that place called in Windermere get shot.
Oh yeah, that's
Fucking
gonna be like
the Coast Guard is gonna come in, bro. Like
They feel like time the fuck out. You niggas is crazy. The niggas been crazy. They just been crazy in their own neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right.
Fair. All right. So last question, because we're at time. And this isn't me. I have ADD, so I just be thinking about shit. And I was thinking about like this moral question I had with my girl. I'm interested to get your guys' perspective on it. So she asked me if like you're walking down the street and you hear someone like screaming for help inside of a house or something like that. Do y'all run in to try to help or no?
You should.
Fuck, that's
Mine with company, my little
Nah,
company.
no,
I
you're
mean,
not. You're not with your little human.
do I got a
I mean, I would like
Nah.
to think that I would run in there, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if like I did it.
That's
I
what I
might,
said too.
Like, trying to get
So,
somebody
like-
else to go in there.
So what I said was that if I hear someone screaming, like I'm calling the cops right away, right? Like that's my. I feel like that's gonna be my contribution, right? Because my thought process is as fucked up as it is. If someone is screaming for help, I still don't trust the shit, right? So like, how do I know that someone's screaming for help to try to bait someone in there, and then now they fuck me up or they kill me or some shit like that, right? Or if I run in there, right, the dude has a gun, he's just gonna off me, right? So then now we got two dead people. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Nigga,
like, I don't know.
What? Why would they do that?
What do you mean?
Why would
Maybe,
somebody
I-
bait you into a house just to fuck you up?
I
You
don't know,
don't
man.
think that
People
happens?
do fucking crazy
Yeah,
shit.
people
man.
do crazy shit. Bro, like look at all right, it's
But that's
Actually, I
like
don't
worst
wanna-
case scenario, and
Yeah.
I don't blame you for taking that into consideration.
yeah. I mean like
It's not out of the realm
I
of
don't want to put
possibilities.
I mean like you've heard this, I'm not gonna say the names, you heard the story. Granted, it's completely different circumstances, like it's not someone screaming for help, but like you hear those circumstances all the time where like it happened in fucking Kissimmee where that chick was like told this dude to meet her at a park because like they were supposed to like, mess around, and then dude got killed. She
Okay,
set him
so
up to
she-
get killed.
So he was a target.
Yeah.
All right, like this is a completely different situation. You're just walking by some random house, and some guy is like, "Look at that guy! Scream for help so I can fucking kill him!" Like what?
Or mug him or beat his ass or take his money or some shit. Like I don't think that's far from the truth. Like, I don't feel like that's far from reality.
Like,
gotta-
how
I
many
got an
times
answer
do
for
you think shit like that happen, like in the history of this country.
I don't know. I don't want to find out.
No, like what's like a number? Like if you had to come up with a number, what would you say it was?
less than
I don't-
1%.
I don't
Chris,
know.
so
It doesn't.
you're going
It
in the
doesn't
house?
matter if
Can
it's
I count it?
1%.
Can I count it with two hands? Can I
Chris,
count it with two hands?
Chris, it
Chris,
doesn't
you're going
matter
in the house?
if it's 1% chance. Like if it's a 1%
It's not a 1%
circumstance,
chance,
I'm
nigga. If I can count it on two hands, it's like 0.0000000.
it doesn't matter. I don't want to be part of the fucking
Yeah.
statistic to raise it, motherfucker. I don't care what the percent is. I don't want to be part of what could be extending that percent.
If I don't go in there, I'm 100% not getting killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. Do you drive a car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how
Yes, I
likely
do.
you are to fucking die in a car?
Highly
fine.
likely.
I
Big.
understand.
That's why I
that.
work from home now. I don't gotta, you know what I mean?
You don't drive. So you didn't drive today.
No, I did.
Okay.
Not,
Yeah,
not for work though.
but I think the difference with the car and the help is the fear factor. Like a lot of people don't have fear in getting in the car. If I hear help me, I'm not gonna lie to you, self-preservation. Fuck that. Like
I'll call the cops, bro. Like
Yeah,
that's my
like-
contribution.
I'm not screaming help, so I know for a fact I'm okay.
Somebody here has to be okay.
Yeah.
I'll take that road.
It's like
But-
when Kevin Hart, when he's talking about his girl, like beefing with some guy, and he's like, I would fight him, then we both have a black guy who's gonna
Yeah.
drive home,
But now if I could physically like see the person screaming for help, like they going at it, yeah, I'm gonna stop that shit. I've stopped that. But in the building, nigga, I don't know what the fuck is in there. I'm not going in there. That's cap. I would never go in
If
there.
I see probable cause for like my intervention, like, maybe I'll get in that bitch, but
Why would that be the first assumption that you make?
Why would it
Ooh.
not be, bro?
Sense.
You
Why
talking about
is,
me?
I'm saying anybody. You hear somebody yelling from a building, the first thing you think is they're trying to rob me.
No, outside of that, I'm just saying, like, even if you take that part out of it, you go into a building, like, how do you know this man doesn't have a gun, bro? And then you're gonna walk in there to try to help. He's just gonna off you right there.
That's any situation. All right, so let's say somebody was trying, like, you're at a gas station, and somebody's like trying to steal a lady's purse, right? She's yelling help. You can physically see that she needs help. Would you help?
If this man's running past me, I'll try to grab. If not, I'm going. I'm not gonna go chase him.
He's wrestling with her. She's holding on to the purse, and he's like slamming her against, the gas.
All right, that's different because he's
Let
got
go
both
of the
hands on the
purse,
purse.
nigga. It's
No.
the
What would
purse.
you do? What would you do? What would you do?
I might try to help more in that
How
situation.
do you know he doesn't have a gun?
I
How
don't,
do you
but
know he doesn't have a gun?
I could see both his hands at that moment, so I know his hands are not on a gun.
Okay, so he
At
can
that
just
moment.
decide and take out his gun.
He
What?
could, but
I
that's
mean,
different.
I can't answer for Rook. What I don't like is unknown shit. I don't
Yeah.
like the ocean because there's a lot of unknown. I can't stand the dark
Sharks in
because
there.
of unknown. Like
Yeah.
for real. Like sometimes I be panicking when I cut the corner and I don't know what the fuck is around that corner. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, bro.
I don't like unknown shit. So if I hear help in a motherfucking building that I can't see shit, you assed out. Your ass is grass, my nigga. I'm sorry, like I got all these muscles for nothing, my nigga. Like,
Good for you. Good for you.
they just so my shirt could look a little tight, my nigga. I'm not.
You are not Captain America. Nah,
Yeah.
I feel you.
Nah, that's facts, bro. You don't got that
All right, Chris-
vibranium shield.
Chris,
dog.
you're such a courageous dude, man. I always do.
You finna go in the building, Chris?
I don't think I'm
Say-
courageous, man. I feel like
Chris
this
is with
is
the
your
shits.
fucking. I think that's what you have to do. Like if my mom was getting robbed,
That's
I
your
would like
mom,
to-
though. That's
different,
different.
different.
no, but that's somebody's fucking mom or son or whatever. If somebody's
You know
getting
that.
fucked up, they belong to somebody,
Facts.
right?
Fair. I understand what you're
But I
saying.
like to think that if my mom was getting fucked up, somebody would help. I watch these videos all the time, like in New York, because they do exactly what you're doing. Like in New York on the subway, somebody will be getting fucked up, and everybody will just stay on their phone.
No, but that's different though. I don't know. That's a
How
little.
is it different?
You know
How
why
is
I
it
think?
different?
You know why I think that's a little bit more different. If it's 50 people and there's one nigga, you beat the fuck out this nigga. You're crazy. But if it's just me, him one, screaming, I don't know what the fuck is on that other side, my nigga. I'm sorry.
I'm
Like,
gonna challenge that again. All right, so you're in a confined space. There's 50 people. There's one guy with a gun. You're gonna be the first one to jump at him?
no, I'm not. Hell no.
No.
Mhm.
Fuck no.
Guess what? Everybody's thinking the same thing.
Facts.
So nobody fucking does anything,
That's
And
the
that's how
bystander effect.
right?
Yeah.
Everybody's like what you're saying. The only difference between what you're saying and what I'm saying is that there's a wall where you can't see. Like I'm saying, if somebody
Oh, that's a big fucking factor, Chris.
that's fine. If somebody's beating somebody up, they're beating up an old lady at a gas station. You don't know if he has a gun or not. That's still an unknown. You're
I'll
saying
fl-
because you
I-
can-
Nah,
because
but
you- because you can see his hands.
But
That's
no,
what gives you the
but
confidence?
let's switch it up again. You in the dark, right? Complete darkness, pitch black. You hear a scream. You not gonna automatically
running.
get
I'm
scared.
running.
You gonna get scared.
I'm running.
Any natural human being, unless you fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, you gonna be like, God damn, I wonder what the fuck is that,
Yeah.
right? Because you hear some shit. You gonna be like, yo, like I don't know what the fuck is going on, but fight or flight, 9 times flight, I gotta get out of there. Like, but if I see this dude beating the brakes off an old lady at the gas station, my fight or flight most likely gonna fight. If I see a gun, flight. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Flight.
like, because self-preservation, natural human instinct. I don't want to die. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Man, Chris running in there like fucking Captain America, dog. He
I
going in
like
there.
to think that I'm gonna run in there, bro. Like I said, like if that was my mom who's in that building, I'd like for somebody to do that for her.
Man, my mama old enough. Goddamn, I'm taking.
Nah, chill out, bro.
Not I'm
guy's
joking.
bugging.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
I
I'm
hope
finna
she don't
save my
see
mama.
this.
I'm finna save my mama. She know that I'm super
Mm.
overprotective of my mama. Cap.
Now we know
Like,
you will. Chris is saying like a fucking random walking
Stranger.
down the street.
If I'm walking by Chris's house, I'm for sure jumping in that bitch.
Like I really think and I don't want to get like too fucking self-righteous, but I think a huge problem with the world is just that we don't have sympathy for others. Like
facts.
we're in constant self-preservation mode. Like how to the point where it's just how does this benefit me? Like I've seen these videos where these people are getting like women are getting sexually assaulted on the subway. Some dude is or whatever is getting fucked up on the subway. And everybody's just like, oh, just another day in New York. It's like, nigga, do something. Or like some shit's happening on the street, and then the first instinct people have is to pull out their phone and make a video out of it. Like, what? Go fucking help. What the fuck are you doing?
But
You know what I mean? Like,
Kendrick
I
said
don't
it
know.
best in this newest song that he dropped, Dehumanize Humans. Like, we so desensitized to so many different things. And then it's so many things that play into that shit, which is wild. But we can't use one scenario for everybody at the same time. Like, if I see some shit because I've done it, like, I seen dudes damn near mollywop they girls outside of the club, and I'm like, dude, like whatever y'all do at home, I can't control it, but you're not gonna do that dumbass shit in front of me. What I don't like, again, using me, I don't like unknowns. Like if you in a building, I don't know what the fuck transpired prior to me even getting there. You get what I'm saying? Like I don't know what I'm running into. I don't know how I'm running into it. Like you get what I'm saying? And then based on how you even arrive to certain situations is going to make you act different. If I'm ready on go on turbo, you get what I'm saying? Like I'll be more susceptible to fighting. But if I'm more lax and some shit happen out of nowhere, I'm more fear based than anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if I can see a motherfucker acting crazy and doing some dumbass shit, because I've done it, this not even speaking on what it is. I'm gonna be like, yo, you tripping. Like, there been plenty of times I'm like, yo, calm the fuck down. It's not even necessary. I did that shit at Nike and somebody ended up getting fired because they was about to go at it, acting crazy in front of customers and all that. I stopped two customers from fighting before. Like, that happened like 3 weeks ago because I can clearly see this shit. You know what I'm saying? But if I don't know in the building, I don't know what the fuck I'm getting myself into, like, at all.
Mm.
So it's tough. Like,
Chris, so
if somebody's car was flipped upside down and it was on fire, you're not touching it, right?
that's
a
tough.
tough one too.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's
If
tough.
it's flipped
How
upside
big is the
down,
fire?
you get what I'm saying? If it's flipped upside down, which I've done that with Taylor, you rush to the accident, pull people out, whatever. But you see that fire booming, I'm not running in that shit. That's self-preservation. Like, cause then I die, he die, we both die. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
You're minimizing loss or potential loss. I feel like because it's better. Well, this is gonna sound shitty too, but better one body than two. You know.
and then the military do it. It's called mitigated risk. Like, not saying it's right or wrong, but my bad, Rook.
No, I was gonna say, but like, it's very different, and it's just human nature, bro. It's very different if it's someone you know. If it's one of y'all's, like, if we're like David said, if we're walking past one of y'all's house and you hear that shit, the likelihood of you going in there is like fucking 100%, right? If my mom's car is flipped over and that shit's on fire, I'm running in there, right? But if it's a stranger, dude, I don't think I'm gonna take that risk. I'm not gonna take that risk. I'm gonna try to do what I can do, which again, if I hear someone scream, I'm gonna call the cops, try to assess the situation, but I don't think I'm going in there. If it's a car flipped over and it's on fire, I'm gonna call the cops. I'm gonna fucking make sure the police department is coming or whatever. But I'm not taking that risk. If a car's pulled over because it's like fucking flashing his blinkers or whatever, I'm not stopping to help because I'm not taking that risk.
And I think it's this situation again. I was pulled over with Jay on the side of the road, and I wasn't even too far from the crib. But it's broad daylight. We left like the Miami Seaquarium at like 2 o'clock or something like that early because Jay was hot as shit. And you know when kids get hot, they get feisty. Like so
They turn up.
yeah, that boy cussing me out of everything. Daddy, I want to go to fuck home. I'm hot. So I'm like, fuck it. So we go side of the road, looking crazy. These two dudes pull over, even though I call roadside assistance, but you know these dickheads take 9 hours to get there. I jacked my car up. They passed the tire. They had this crazy ass contraction to get my tire back right. I don't even know how these motherfuckers did it. Got my shit on, but I think at nighttime, I don't think I'm getting the same results. Because for some reason, the freaks come out at night. Niggas get weird at night. So they helped me. They didn't care what's going on. Then when they went to the back of the car, they see the veteran place. Oh my gosh, where you served at? Ooh, out the band. We had a conversation. Have a great day. I went home. But at night, I do not think I'm getting the same results, bro.
Thing is that we constantly shame people for assuming the worst case scenario. But then, like, are we just saying that this is normal human behavior?
You talking about like having self-preservation is the number one thing?
No, it's not just about self-preservation. This is about assuming the worst at all times, acting off of the worst case scenario.
Yeah, because of the shit that we've seen.
What have you seen, Rook?
Look at the fucking news. I see people get
Like
shot
what?
all
Give me an
the like
example.
people get shot, people get jumped, people get robbed. Like you see
Yeah,
that shit all the time.
That's fine. Give me an example.
The lady that ended up in 2 different suitcases in Miami that met this nigga online.
We had a bet on that. They like went to Puerto Rico. That shit was crazy.
Like she
Right, is that
ran
what
into
you're
a
talking about?
fucking building where somebody was yelling.
No, I ain't say that, but I'm saying, or you read or you watch documentaries on niggas like Samuel Little that was luring motherfuckers in and killed like 93 women. And there's a whole bunch of weird shit that happens that we see constantly, even though that's the minority. But since we see it so much, we assume it's the majority.
We don't even see it much. You can't even give me more than, you can't give me examples.
What you
You
mean?
can't, all right, so you got Samuel. All right, so you got Samuel. What else do we got?
The lady in the hotel room that I said.
Okay. All right, so that's that. The hotel room lady. What else? You live 30 years on this life and on this earth. Can you give me 30 examples? Like an example a year? Probably not.
Chris, it doesn't
of
matter.
Of the screaming building or of weird shit people have done.
So let me give you another example. And this is what I'm saying. This is the contradiction in our thought process, right? So I'm a police officer.
We know.
And I hear about some other police officer that had a routine traffic stop with a black male. This black male had a warrant, got scared about going to jail, and he offed this guy.
Yeah.
Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you know what ends up happening, and this happens all the fucking time, is that this affects me on a psychological level.
Yeah.
So when I encounter a black male, now I'm going to act accordingly. And that's wrong, correct?
Facts.
That's absolutely wrong. We're fighting to stop that type of behavior. But then you're telling me, well, Chris, this is normal. This is how we're supposed to act.
No, but
no,
now
you're talking about
doing,
discrimination and fucking self-preservation.
2 different.
Time out. It comes from the same thing.
It do, but we're comparing the same thought process, but we still doing apples and oranges.
How?
Because it's 2 different scenarios that don't have nothing to do with each other.
They don't have to have anything to do with each other. What I'm saying
is
that the bottom line is self-preservation.
Yes.
I'm using some minute example. You're using a minute example. You're saying, well, this one guy met a girl online and put her in a suitcase. That's like what? Less than 0.001% chance?
Which I agree with you. I agree with you.
So same thing with the black guy. Some black guy ends up in a bad situation with a cop, and I use that as the standard. That's the first thing that I think of next time I run into a black guy.
So let me, using your thought pattern, why is it that growing up, all 4 of these males that's on the screen right now, Your parents tell you, be careful where you go, who you with, this, that, and the third. More often than none, nothing is going to happen, right? But they still assume the worst.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like it happens. You know what I'm saying? Like just the odd chance of it happening is the reason why all our mothers be careful where you're going. It's like, and we look at our parents like, motherfucker, I'm just going outside. Leave me alone.
You're comparing action to inaction.
What you mean?
What you're saying is like the chances of you getting into an accident are very low. But just in case you get into an accident, you want to have your seatbelt on.
Yes.
That's inaction. Action is when you see something that's going wrong and you have an opportunity to prevent it. Those are two completely different things.
Yeah, but I gave you the situation. This is what I gave you the situation. If I see it, which I've done personally, like
No, I hear you, and I completely understand that. You don't have to explain it again.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that when it comes to riding in my car, there's no harm in assuming the worst case scenario. Same thing with your mom. Your mom is like, when you're outside, make sure that you come at a certain time. Don't come around that place. Don't do this. Don't do that. There's no downside to you assuming the worst case scenario in those cases, right?
Yes, I agree with you.
But somebody's yelling and they need help, and you will assume the worst case scenario, there's a shit ton of downside to that situation.
Which is true, but the downside in your mental, you know what I'm saying? You're self-preserving yourself. You're assuming I don't know what the fuck is going on behind that wall.
You're 1,000% correct, and that's exactly how the cops think. That's
but
exactly what I'm saying.
I don't think the cops.
That's 1,000% what I'm saying.
I think
Chris,
the cop situation is way more systemic than self-preservation. I think it's way more systemic than self-preservation. Self-preservation, if I stop you on a busted tail, like that's not busted, that's not self-preservation. You being a bitch.
That's not. That's
I feel like hey, Chris, can I tell you something?
Time out. David, chill out. You're going in a completely different direction. That's not even what we're talking about. What I'm saying is like when a black man gets shot, what happens? The cop he just feels like shooting a black person that day?
He feared for his life.
He fears for his life. Why does he fear for his life? Because
the
worst case scenario.
But you're not even telling the whole story within that situation.
If you hear someone screaming for help, why are you not assuming the worst case scenario?
Why are they screaming help?
In all these scenarios, you guys are using the word assume. Chris, when you talked about is that normal human behavior, I think considering the worst case scenario, where you just acknowledge that the worst possible fucking thing could happen. I think considering it as opposed to assuming it, because that's assuming is when you go into the mindset or you go into something with an expectation. But if you consider the worst case scenario, you know,
David,
to use that as a logic to not intervene, like I do think that's normal human.
All right, so David, you're 1,000% correct. Again, we'll go back to the gas station. Some lady's getting beat up. It's smart to assume that the person that's beating her up has a gun. That's smart to assume. So you move accordingly. What you're doing in this case is that you hear somebody yelling in a building, and the worst case scenario isn't something's happening. It's obvious something's happening because somebody's fucking yelling. What you're assuming is that not somebody needs help, is that am I getting set up?
No, that was work.
That was just an example, Chris, and you're just running with that one, right? But regardless, the moral of what I'm saying is that you don't know what the fuck is going on there. So if I'm going in there to bust through the door to try to help someone, this man could I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know where they are located. If this man's in the living room and the door is right there, he sees me walk in, he has a gun in his hand, he's just gonna off me right there, right? Like I don't know what the fuck the situation is. So yeah, I was just using that as a example, which to your point, sure, is probably the most unlikely one, but the more likely one is you don't know what the fuck is happening and you're gonna walk in there and you're gonna get yourself fucking killed, stabbed, something yourself as well.
No, that's legit.
Yeah, I'm not. like just like you said with the gas station shit, you gonna assess the situation because you're not just gonna run in head first because if the dude got a gun and off you, or let's just say he just want the purse to run, and you make the situation worse, y'all both get shot. You're gonna take little steps, like even the stuff at Nike. I didn't automatically go in between the consumers, be like, yo, what the fuck's going on? I assess the situation, what's going on, boom, that, and third. What happened in that situation, the lady kid ended up pushing some other lady. Why the lady really got hot because the mom that was in the wrong called the mom that was in the right a bitch. So the mom is like, how the fuck you call me a bitch when your son pushed me? So they get hyped, bitch, I beat your ass, whatever. I'm like, yo, like this situation gonna go way up here when it started here. Relax. You know what I'm saying? But in the house situation or the darkness situation or in water, all the shit that I'm scared of. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, call the cops, like Rook said. I'm probably gonna linger to see if the whoever's in there come out. You know what I'm saying? Like to see what the fuck's going on. I'm not just gonna be like, hell, fuck it, I'm gone. Suck my dick, I'm out of there. You know what I'm saying? That's wild to me because it's like, damn, like if you could go home after that, sleep in your bed peacefully, knowing that somebody screamed help and you literally did absolutely nothing about it, you're psychotic in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like, in my opinion, but that's my opinion. My opinion could be neither here nor there. But my first thought process is going to be to preserve myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
what I'm saying. And that's what I said. My contribution is I'm going to call the cops. I'm going to call the cops. Like I said, I'll stay there. Like, if someone walks out there, there needs to be a witness or something. Like, that is my contribution. I don't think I'm going into a building when I don't know what the fuck is going on in there. I'm not. But Chris, is funny because so my girl has the same exact thought process and view as you do, where she in like you said almost word for word when she's like the people don't care enough, about other people. Like there's nobody. What's the words you use and shoes? Y'all said like the same thing. Y'all are on the same train of thought. And I told her, I was like, babe, you are 5'2". You're not going in there and helping nobody. Like you're just gonna get yourself into more trouble,
But it could be what Chris said too. It could be sick in a way because it could be somebody that's stuck under something, and the difference between them living or dying, you could have been able to lift the stuff and they get out, but you assume the worst that somebody is attacked because you could scream help literally for anything. You could stub your toe and be like, God damn, my motherfucking foot hurt, or you know what I'm saying, or a fucking kitchen knife could slip, you get cut by it or whatever, and they screaming help because they're panicking, they're not thinking reasonable, and you could be the difference. Like, yo, relax, don't pull it out because there's something sharp fall in you. The worst thing you could do is pull the shit out because you're doing more damage. You know what I'm saying? So they screaming help because they're confused, but because how society is dictated now, news, social media show you all the sickest shit, the worst shit, whatever, we assume it's somebody beating the brakes off of somebody else. And it might not even be that the whole time anyway.
Yeah.
It could be somebody drowning and don't know how to swim. They kid in the pool, help, I need you to come get my kid out the pool. You know what I'm saying? And they got extreme phobia of water, craziest shit. Or it could be the simplest shit. I damn near killed myself in traffic because a fucking spider this big was in my car. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
nah, that shit would fuck me up too, bro.
I agree with Chris too, though. You right. We are desensitized human beings, dehumanized human beings.
Yeah.
So
I feel like our perspective to everything in life is that it's not my problem.
Facts.
And it goes all the way from the bottom to the top. And when you look at the problems in the world, they all come from that thought process. It's just, we all acknowledge all these problems, but it's easier to talk about them than actually do something. And I guess that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, but speaking on myself, I'm a man of action. My actions been spoke louder than my words, so I can't speak for nobody else. So.
It's the risk reward proposition, man.
And
not even the reward.
What's the reward? What's the reward?
Not the reward. I'm just saying the risk. Well, the reward is you keeping your life, I guess, in this scenario. The risk of
saving someone else's.
Well, that too. But I'm just Chris, like,
But what Chris said is true.
yeah.
Most people could like you right. If I save my life, fuck them. That's how a lot of people think. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like, Ricky was really about to just reinforce exactly what I just said. Like,
No,
my nigga didn't even consider the reward of saving someone else.
the reward is like, yeah, like David said, saving their life, but your life, bro, your life is the most important. All right. Unless it's like something threatening your mom, your family, something like that, then that's the scales waver. But tell me not, is your life not the most important to you?
Yeah, absolutely. But,
Okay.
like, that right. All right. So this is all just based off of our anatomy. We're naturally built selfish. Like, that's why we survived as a species for so long. That's why everything survives. A fucking anything from a virus to a fucking bird, it survives off of self-preservation. But we're not animals. We have a consciousness that can break down logic.
We
And
are
there's
animals.
times where your fucking life might not mean as much as you think it does, is what I'm saying. Sometimes, like, you have to take risks in order to do things that are bigger than you, is what I think. But
who caused that shot though? That's what I'm saying. Like,
you,
no, but I'm saying, like, so let's just say scenario, I don't go in the house, somebody died. You gonna look at me as less of a person?
no, I can't do that. But you know.
Yeah, I know it. That shit. If I make that decision, I made peace with whatever decision I made when I made that decision.
Are you sure? If you find out later that somebody died in that building, like, that's not gonna affect you?
I don't know.
Okay,
Man.
all right. I make my case.
It depends, bro. Like, I sat with myself for a long time and I've dealt with a lot of shit. It depends. You get what I'm saying? Like,
you find you are on the highway and you stop and there's somebody in a burning car and you're like, fuck, it's on fire. I don't want to get in there. And then that person ends up dying from severe burns. That's gonna stick with you.
but
I can't judge you for what you did, but you're gonna know.
But how the fuck would I know me going in there was gonna save him anyways?
You don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and you're right, that might stick with me. Might. But
if it doesn't, you're a sociopath.
No, I don't agree with you. I do not agree, because motherfuckers die every day and a lot of people don't get no fucks. Like,
right,
you
but
know,
like, that's how many of these people die where somebody else is in a position where they could do something?
Medical malpractice.
What?
Medical malpractice. A lot of people die because of medical malpractice.
Okay, so if I'm a doctor and I'm working on you and you die because of the shit that I do, and I don't feel anything, what am I? I'm a fucking sociopath, Peterson. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right. In that sense, yes, you're right.
So if I'm a nurse and you're on the fucking deathbed and there's something that I can do and I don't do it and you die, I'm gonna carry that. It's just, that's human nature.
I don't know. I don't.
In both situations, I think it depends. Like,
yeah.
For example, if you find out, right, that you don't go in, you call the cops get in there, and they take down dude. Like, there's some dude beating his wife, and he has a gun in his hand, and he has shot her, right? And they get him. If you find that out, like if I find out this dude had a gun and he was out here shooting at police and shit like that, I don't think I'm gonna carry that, because that would have been the same exact thing I would have been part of, except I don't have a gun, right, to like defend myself or shoot back at or anything like that. Now, if it's like a case where, like you said, if some fell on somebody and they died because no one came to help them be able to lift the shit off their chest, yeah, like that, I'd carry that too.
Yeah, I'm gonna be fried.
I'd carry that, but at the same time, I'm gonna think about the other that could have been, and if I fucking died there, like what that's gonna do to my mom, to my sisters, to my family, like they're gonna have to live with that, and that's just gonna be heavy on them. So like, when you think about your life, it's not just your life, it's how it is going to affect everybody else that's close to you as well. Like like girl too, like if everyone's within that you have to consider when it comes to your life and the decisions you make and risking it in doing something like that without knowing what's happening on the other side of that door.
All you're doing is reinforcing exactly what I said. Like we're constantly thinking about ourselves. You're thinking about your.
But like you said, that's how we've survived for as long as we have, Chris.
I got you, but like we also like there's a downside to that thinking as well. Like Hitler was also building off of the idea of self-preservation.
Nah, that's apples and oranges again. Like
that's actually absolutely what happens.
he was an egomaniac. He was a sick fuck. Like,
all right, but he was just building on this idea that we've been building for centuries.
Yeah, but he wasn't moving in a natural state of human thought process. Not if Hitler is natural. If Hitler is natural, everybody's Hitler. Then.
No. So
why not?
Hitler's thought process.
Sociopath.
All right, so Hitler's an extreme example, but he's not that far off from what we expect.
He has to be. He has to be because it's not 100 million Hitlers in history. It's maybe 1,000. Like
it doesn't have to be.
Why not though? If you saying that
what Hitler thought was necessary, because like what usually happens, like all right, so like what do you think will happen if we encounter an alien in outer space?
Self-preservation.
Shoot it.
We're gonna shoot at them.
Yeah.
We're going to assume that they're going to shoot at us.
Facts.
And this is how the majority of human history has operated.
Yes.
I can't lose a fight to my neighbor if I beat their ass before they even decide to fight.
Yes.
That's exactly what Hitler's theology was. I'm going to take over everything, and then I can't have any problems. He was an extreme example.
Very extreme.
Right along the line of everything that we've been seeing.
You love this 0.00001. Hitler was the 0.00001%.
In what way?
How not though? Like, because if he wasn't that, it would be more of him, right or wrong.
Nah, explain to me in what ways was Hitler unique to like the rest of the people in history?
Because it was only Hitler. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Give me specific examples, because what I'm saying is like Stalin did the same exact thing right after Hitler. Like
that's two.
Right
that's still in the 10,000 years of human history. That's still 0.001%. Right or wrong?
What are we talking about? Like Genghis Khan was murdering people by the thousands. Like
that's 3 again out of what almost 8 billion people on this earth right now.
Aztecs were literally rounding up thousands of people and like they were lined up like at Disney to get murdered.
But as we evolved that lesson, that was primal instincts.
I'm saying like, nah, it's not. Like I'm saying,
yes, it is.
This is in line with what human history has been. What do you think the Romans were doing? They were just conquering because they thought it was fun.
But why is it not happening now then? To that scale, to that magnitude.
Because of nuclear warfare, my nigga. Like, but that's the only reason it's not happening.
And self-preservation. So why is it not one nigga say, fuck this, suck my dick, I'm pressing the button. You all y'all niggas could die.
Okay, so we all agree Putin is crazy, right?
Then a bitch.
All right, so why isn't Putin trying to conquer the world?
Because the nigga not stupid.
Right, and what makes him smart enough to not do it?
Because he know bullies got other bullies behind them.
Gotcha. So that's exactly what I'm saying. It's not that Putin's less crazy than these other people. It's just that because technology advanced the way that it did, he's just not willing to do it. If Putin existed 150 years ago, I guarantee you, he would be doing a lot of the same shit.
So, which I agree with you, but why isn't there another Putin right now?
Another Putin?
Yeah.
You mean like Zhao? Like Zhao's he got people in concentration camps right now.
But again, like, I don't know. You understand this concept of not the norm when it comes to certain
Peterson, like you're deleting a lot of concepts. Like we're the 3 strongest militaries in the world. Like Venezuela would do the same shit. They just don't have a strong enough military. You think if the Philippines had a strong enough military, you don't think they'll try to conquer shit?
But now we're doing what if?
No, I'm not. That's exactly what it is. Like the guy who runs the Philippines is a crazy nut job. You can argue that guy is crazier than Putin.
But let's just say
he doesn't have the resources Putin has.
Let's
That's the only
just
reason he's not doing it.
let's just say it's 420 countries in the world, right?
Okay.
And all 420 leaders is psycho fucking maniacs, weirdos, cracked out, bonkers, tweaked out, stupid.
I think that's reality. I think they actually are. But go ahead.
Yeah, but now that's 420 skunk, right? 420. That's 420 out of almost 8 billion.
8 billion countries?
No,
People.
people.
Well, wait,
420.
you said the leaders of each country, they're all fucking bonkers?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
psycho.
Oh,
They
we're fucked.
egotistical.
Those 8 billion are fucked then.
No, but
Cracked
what I'm
out.
saying, but like we're still following the rules. Like out of the 420, how many of them are actually capable of doing something? Do you think the leader of Dominican Republic can do something?
But
The guy's building a wall like a
with
fucking
self-preservation, let's just say all 420 of these countries are strong enough to topple their neighboring people.
And Peterson, there was a point where that was true. And guess what happened? World War I happened.
Facts.
You
Right.
feel me? Like,
But then
now that
when self-preservation came into play, this shit had to stop. Because niggas realized if we killed everybody mentally, it would be stupid. It'd be nobody here to do anything.
Peterson, you're proving my point. They're not, it's not that they're less crazy. It's just that they're scared of the consequences. That's all that is.
But I don't think that's everybody within these countries. That's what I'm saying.
Give me an example. Like North Korea? Why
No,
isn't he trying to conquer somebody?
No, but Kim Jong short bitch, whatever the fuck the nigga name is, right?
Why isn't Kim Jong-un invading South Korea?
Because he don't want the work.
Because South Korea is
That's
backed by the United
exactly what I'm
States.
No, but I'm
saying.
saying, no. I don't think, I agree with you in that, but I don't think everybody under him is Kim Jong short bitch.
It doesn't
That's
matter.
what I'm saying. It
It doesn't
does.
matter.
It does. It has to matter.
Does everybody, you think everybody under Putin is like Putin?
No.
No, but yet he still invaded Ukraine.
Yes, but I think it's checks and balances within these psychomaniacs.
It obviously isn't. Because Putin
How?
is doing whatever the fuck he wants.
That's capped to a certain extent.
What isn't he doing that he wants to do?
You don't think the nigga want to go and invade majority of Europe?
And what's stopping him from doing that?
The nigga
Us!
scared. The
Us!
nigga-
Yes,
not
that's
just
what I'm
us.
saying.
There's other niggas on that
Yes.
side, but the nigga, oh my God. Like,
Oh
I
my
feel
God.
like, yeah. OMG, nigga.
Yo, Peterson, the case that you're making is that Putin is somehow more rational than Hitler because he's not invading France. That's the case that you're trying to make. But I'm saying the reason Hitler invaded France was because he thought he could win. That's what I'm saying. If Putin invaded France, he would fucking lose. That's the only reason he's not doing it.
But I think Hitler was a victim of his time also.
So is Putin. Putin is the same thing. He's fucking crazy.
Yeah, but the nigga is not as crazy as he think he is because the nigga
I
knows.
guarantee that nigga's crazier than he thinks he is. I'm telling you.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think if
My
the
nigga
nigga, if the nigga was crazier than he thought he was, the nigga would have said, "Fuck the U.S., come suck my dick. I'm finna do whatever the fuck I want to do, and y'all gonna have to come see me." We see when crazy
come off-
niggas
say
do
that.
that.
This is gonna come off as an extremely arrogant comment, but I'm telling you, I feel like your basis is coming off of a lack of understanding. Like Germany could have won the war.
A long time ago.
Yes, in World War II, they could have won the war. They were this close from taking Russia. If they would have took those oil fields, they would have won.
Which is facts.
There is no way Putin can beat us, the UK, France, and Germany. There's no way.
So that's why I'm saying I think it's a lack of you.
What I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. The nigga not as crazy as he think he is because he realized that he's not as crazy as he think he is. Like,
And what happened to Hitler? Hitler did everything that he did because he was just crazy?
because technology at the point I don't think was as advanced to even allow it. Now we could get to the other side of the world with Predator drone missiles in 2 hours, nigga. Back then, it was taking niggas a whole month to get to that side.
That
A
doesn't
month
matter.
is enough time to act crazy if you want to.
That doesn't matter.
That does matter.
I'm saying it's all relative to one another, right? Like it's like whatever the advanced technology was at the time, Germany had access to, and so did we. So we were all in the same playing field.
But
Germany, at the time, Germany, it's just like Hitler. It's the same. I promise you, it's the same exact thing.
I don't believe it. Like, let's scale it back. I'm the biggest nigga in the room. I know I could beat the brakes off for 100 niggas in that shit. I'm not gonna have no fear in me because I'm gonna beat the brakes off all you. But now if 100 niggas is as buff and strong as me, I'm gonna think twice. I might
Let's simplify this. Let's simplify this. Let's simplify this. If Hitler was the leader of Russia right now, you think he invades Europe?
I don't think so.
So what is the point that we're making? That's exactly what I'm saying.
I don't think so because the nigga is scared now. Like at the point he had no fear.
It's not about being scared now. I'm saying that they made a calculated risk. When he invaded France, it was a calculated risk. When Putin invaded Ukraine, it was a calculated risk. One guy thought he could get away with it. The other guy didn't. That's all that changes. You're saying Hitler is one of one, but Hitler's doing the same thing Putin is doing. It's the same thing. They're just calculating different risks. That's all they're doing. That's exactly what we're saying.
Cause the risk calculation mathematics is going to be way different then than now, bro. Like,
Bro.
let the people
we
comment. Yeah,
we gotta scale this back in, bro.
Yeah.
We go from fucking going into a house to fucking Putin and Hitler.
The dictators.
I know.
Yeah.
This is literally the Woodcrush group chat in 4K. Like,
I
this is
blame that
crazy.
shit on your girl though. Like she started this shit.
I mean, she brought up an interesting conversation point though, so it was good. All right, y'all. My friends, thank you all for being here. Listeners and viewers, we appreciate you all. Like, comment, let us know if you'd run into the house. I'm really interested to see, what people think on that, if they'd run in or if they wouldn't.
A lot of people ain't.
Yeah, so we'll see. But all right, y'all, we'll catch you on the next episode. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you then. Peace.